guys and gals, welcome to the Oxford Holy Club, a place where we ready ourselves to give an answer for the hope that's in us. We will also try to answer your questions, random questions from the interwebs, and have some fun too. So put some seatbelts on your ears because we're in for a wild ride. Well, hello, Oxford Holy Club. Do not adjust your dial. Don't change the channel. I know that the screen looks a little different, and brace yourself because we are in for an interesting night tonight. And gentlemen, just quickly, how are you?
Very well.
Good. My name is Brad Siliker. I am 130 your host and joined by Andrew Beckwith, who's immediately below me here on the screen, and then Lucas Candy. So you'll see on the screen, guys, before you, we've got a video from a year ago. It was, Andrew, are you frozen?
Yes.
Oh, heck, this was his idea, and now he's...
Hey, guys, it's a flashback episode.
Yeah, so we were pitching ideas for what to do for a Halloween episode because last year we did a very specific thing. And Andrew came through with an idea of, hey, what would it look like if we reviewed...
Great idea.
Reviewed last year's episode and just kind of riffed on it a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. We've never done anything like this since. This is
for good reason.
Which speaks to the success of it. Yeah, exactly.
Lucas, you have said time and time again that this was probably our worst episode ever.
It's the first time I never went back and listened to an episode again. There's in the last few months I've been busy. I haven't had a chance to listen to our episodes. Normally I like to, but this was that one episode I've never listened to and never had intended to until tonight. Here we go.
So just to make it clear to everybody, what we're about to do is for the rest of the episode, if you want to hang out with us, we're making fun of ourselves. It is the picture of the snake eating its own tail. I believe that's called the Ouroboros. That is in full effect right now.
Those are those lights in the sky, aren't
No,
they?
Lucas, that's the Ouroborealis. Oh,
We're also
Aurora Borealis.
anticipating
Aurora Borealis.
this being so bad that I already pitched next year's episode, which is us reacting to this.
reaction to a reaction. Could that be the
But
holiday?
that would mean that this episode, not only is the episode we're watching bad, but our comments are going to be bad. So that would be...
thus indicating no growth in our comedic timing.
That's right.
Thanks, Mom, for still sharing the stream, even though we teed it up as a complete failure. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to laugh at each other, and I'm done talking. I have turned the video to, I think, what did we went to 1.2 times speed, just to try to speed it up a touch because we want to be able to comment. We may or may not be able to get
listen.
We may not be able to get through the whole thing, but guys,
Every wince, take it up a speed.
So let's just lay some ground rules. Nothing is off limits here in terms of making fun of each other and certainly ourselves. Okay.
Except my cupboards. You can't make fun of my cupboards.
Well,
That's all I had.
that's yep.
Literally all I had.
And
That's fine.
And if you want me to pause, if it's you just let me know. Just give us, here we go.
All right.
We're playing a game called For Sherlock Holmes and a Vampire, who is also one of the aforementioned Sherlock Holmes. And this was created by a gentleman named Andrew J. Young, and it was he was listening to a podcast, and somebody made a joke about something like this, and so the guy actually made it. And it's a role-playing game, so everything that we're about to do is going to take place in our minds and in your mind. You get to visualize.
Open your mind's eye.
Open your mind's eye. Right off the bat, guys, Matt Barber is not interested. Straight up disinterested.
Look at those eyes.
Disinterested.
It's like, this is the moment he decided that he was going to move on from the podcast.
Yeah.
Just took him 6 months to follow through.
Oh, shoot.
For the record, just so you guys know, my mental headspace was probably similar to his at this point because I was dreading doing this, but I was trying to be chipper. I don't have that same mindset tonight. I'm trying to be honest, be real, but I was not being honest.
I'm just
Go on.
ahead.
Go. No, please, Andrew.
I'm just trying. I immediately was doing the same mannerisms as me in the video, like this, and so I'm like, oh, keep my hand.
Anyway, so basically, if I'm going to go through the rules, and the rules there's not very many. This is not super complicated. The only things that we need to have are some dice, which is probably the scariest part of this whole game. And other than that, what's going to happen is there's
Very funny, Kelsey.
A crime that's taken place, a murder most foul has taken place, and 4 of us are going to show up on the scene, and each of us are different Sherlock Holmeses, but one of us is a vampire. And the point of the game is through rolling dice, there's a bunch of different quirks that we are going to have. For instance,
Quick aside, I keep looking at you guys from the before video for your reactions to it, thinking that it's the live video. I keep forgetting to look at the right screens.
one of us might loathe the smell of garlic. And so as you're playing, that kind of comes out in your character. And so there's different clues that we'll roll that we then have to try to explain how they work in the scene. And we're always trying to one-up each other in why we're right and why our clues are more important. On top of that, we're trying to solve the crime with the clues, and we're also trying to
Barbara
identify
hasn't
who the
moved.
vampire is.
What?
Did Lucas just yawn?
If we figure out at some point
He's
who we
just
think
stewing
the
in
vampire
his
is,
disappointment.
then we get to accuse that vampire, and they then have to solve the crime. It is it's a whodunit type of mystery here, and instead of doing Nancy Drew, we went with Sherlock.
Okay, can you start explaining that again?
Oh,
Hi, we're playing 4 Sherlock Holmes and a
Classic
vampire.
me.
So we've already decided. We haven't talked about this. We've never done anything like this ever.
No.
This is uncharted territory and super scary. So we're going to begin. Guys, are you ready to start?
Oh, I've got it
No.
all played. I've got it all in my head.
So-
I'm all ready.
So the way that we're going to decide who's going first, everybody, we're going to roll a 6-sided dice, your normal square cube dice.
thanks, Joanne.
And then we'll take the order from that. Matt, what did you roll?
Still rolling. Sorry,
Just the one dice, though.
I rolled a 2.
Matt, 2. Okay, I got a 5.
5.
Oh,
I got a 5.
okay.
I got a 4.
Andrew 4. Lucas, let's roll again.
Okay. Let's see here. Clear. Boop.
Okay. 2. I rolled a.
I'm surprised anybody was still watching at this point.
All
We
right.
have the same app?
Great
Last time.
podcast audio.
Okay,
Great
I
podcast.
rolled
This is
a.
going
Give
to be
me
the
one more.
longest episode.
Very engaging.
Yeah.
3?
Okay, so the order, darn it, goes Brad,
Well, look at Lucas throwing back there in the moment.
Andrew.
Having fun, bud.
Brad Lucas.
Brad, Lucas, Andrew, Matt.
No, didn't you roll a 4?
Should we skip
Yep.
ahead?
So
I have a 5.
yeah, but then we.
Oh, no.
Oh, I see. Yes, sorry, Brad.
Never mind. Pick whatever one you want. It's fine.
This is the whole game.
I understand.
Just try to roll dice and figure out what the order is.
It's real. I think
quickly.
whatever stress I was
Yeah.
feeling was like multiplying as we kept rolling the dice.
Yeah, it just kept getting. It went from bad to worse.
Hurry.
I do like
So
the fact
it's
that
going-
Andrew's background has not changed one bit.
No, the curtains
I have
have,
different color curtains.
I'm colorblind, so to me they have not changed one bit.
and we're not
I
allowed.
changed the
Oh, go ahead.
I changed those curtains for Christmas last year when I decorated my background for Christmas. I haven't gone back yet, so
And it's weird to see because this is before Barb went through his like decorating phase. Like this is when before he had like the wallpaper and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And Lucas, we're not allowed to talk about the cupboards.
So, yes, go for the cupboards. Go for cupboards.
Okay, I'll
Brad,
save
Lucas, Andrew,
they're
Matt.
dumb.
You got
I
it.
was going Brad, Andrew Lucas.
No, it's going Brad, Lucas, Andrew, Matt.
Would you believe it? Did you believe it that that's the order I wrote things down before the show even started?
I would.
You're
Actually.
funny, Scott. Thanks, man.
I like that, Scott.
So here's what I'm about to do. I'm going to describe the crime scene in as much detail as I'd like, but I'm not going to talk about the crime at all. Then
All
once
right. Are you gonna are we introducing who we are?
not yet. Once,
Listen, Andrew.
once we set the scene, then we talk about how our Sherlock Holmeses have appeared and who they
Oh
are.
my
So I'm going to
soul.
describe the scene, which is what the only thing I didn't want to do was this.
Can you believe
Oh,
this
I wanna
episode
do
didn't
that
go
one.
viral?
You wanted,
I'll trade you.
Set the scene? All
Yeah.
right, Matt and I are trading orders.
Well, no, just for this.
Oh.
Just for this.
Roll dice. Roll
All right.
dice.
No, here we go. All right. So we set the scene.
Brad, did you put the
Yes,
speed up
Matt, I'm
again?
ready. This is the world.
Okay.
It's August
I thought you made
20th,
it faster.
1996.
No.
We're at an outdoor concert event. And the main feature has just taken the stage.
Thanks, Blair.
It's Garth Brooks.
Oh no. I just got to stop for a second. To the best of my knowledge, my uncle Blair has never watched our podcast.
Oh, Blair, buddy. No, not this episode.
and
Not
this
turn
is,
around.
This is the episode in which my uncle now comes into. Just a heads up, it is the episode where we are reviewing what we consider our worst episode. Even my mom, who has always been so supportive, said, "This is terrible, dear." I take a lot of solace in all those laughter ha-has
Thank you,
before
Sonia.
But
Thank
it's
you for your
not
honesty.
Chris Brooks.
Oh no.
It's Chris Hayes,
Oh,
his alter ego. Wasn't that his name? Gaines. Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines. Yeah.
Chris Gaines, his alter ego, has taken to the stage where he's going to do a mix of country and pop music. But then it begins to rain lightly. And over in the
Barbara was
corner,
trying
you can see
really
the full moon.
hard.
Yeah.
He was,
Chaos.
you know, for all as much as he didn't want to do it,
I like it.
he was
Yeah.
really giving her the
All right,
old college
so,
try.
Matt.
so who dies?
Well, hold. No, he doesn't say that.
Nope,
He
he
doesn't
doesn't
say
say
that.
Oh, my soul.
Yet. The fourth.
Andrew,
player,
I explained the
we're going in this
rules.
order is now-
I explained the rules at least 3 times. How did you not understand?
I don't know.
Now me. Darn it, gets to do that.
It was a
So
stressful
you
time
describe
for
the
everyone
crime
involved,
scene
let's
in
be
as much
honest.
detail as you like. We're basically outside at a Chris Gaines concert. It's raining. It's 1996.
Lightly raining.
Lightly raining.
Lightly raining. A sprinkling of rain. Okay, so then Matt, you now need to roll a 6-sided dice and let me know what it is.
I was wondering how this was a 51-minute video, but
Number 1.
now I
Number
know.
one. So I get to choose 2 different things from the scene.
I was like, I don't
Choose from number one.
remember
I
us
can choose if there's a
actually
creepy doll collection
doing
in the
this
room,
for
or in
long
the space,
because
or
Because
unusual
I would have swore it was a
I'm gonna
half-hour
choose unusual
episode
odors
because I feel like
because
we floundered and then punched out pretty quick.
yeah.
You'd think.
Thank you.
and then so I'm choosing that there's unusual odors in the room, in the space. You know, this Garth Brooks / Chris Gaines concert's happening, and man, what is that? What is that?
Little
Man, I
ASMR
cannot
for the
place that. Are
people
there
at home?
trash cans nearby? No, I don't see any, but there is something wafting through the air. And then I get to roll. I rolled a 2.
It's funny how you had your
It is
mic there before, like right
now that wasn't
right
my
in
turn.
your face.
Lucas,
I was
go.
going to say
business.
something, but I got yelled at last time, so I just kept quiet.
All right, so now what do I do?
Brad,
Nothing?
Matt, Brad, Lucas, Andrew. I'm so sorry.
Andrew, I just realized in the time since we did this, you've upgraded your headphones from the Apple wired to the wireless.
I don't know why I would have been wearing wired headphones. Wow.
Oh, boy.
Because I had them, I used them, but
Or they're dead.
All right, so I rolled a 2. So now, Lucas, you get to look at the scene details, and you get to add something to the scene.
And I can just pick whatever I want.
There's 2 of them. Pick one of them.
Oh, from number 2?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. More than one katana. My
Why?
choices were more than one katana or too many pets. I've chosen more than one katana.
Where is the katana? We're at an outdoor concert. Matt, you really put us in quite a place.
You gotta, yeah, but Lucas, paint the picture, man. I could totally see Chris Gaines with a katana on the stage. Like, give us
Thanks,
the
Cole,
picture.
for liking the stream.
So, on the crime scene, there's a very unusual odor. It's kind of hard to place, like you said. And there are 2 katanas crossed in the ground near the body.
Oh.
Hey, does anybody remember how this episode ends? Like, who did it? Does anybody remember who actually...
I think, didn't Dr. House show up?
Oh, my word. Okay. Yeah.
That
The
seems like
crime hasn't happened yet.
I know.
I described the crime
okay,
happening.
Okay.
I'm just throwing in a detail, and I said katanas. You're like, more details. And I give you more details. You're like, too many details.
Roll the dice. Roll a d6.
All right, rolling. 3.
more details.
He doesn't roll the dice for this.
I can really
just
hit that
described the
note,
crime
eh?
scene now.
Yeah, go
You
ahead,
can take...
Andrew,
I can
please.
take it.
Word. What are we
I'm
doing
going
here?
to take all of the information Lucas just said out.
Thank you.
2 katanas.
So here's what happens.
Here's-
The light rain, it picks up, and all of a sudden the skies let loose as the rain comes down, and the thunder and lightning start to crash. And coincidentally, Chris Gaines goes to country. So Garth Brooks right now, and he's singing "Thunder Rolls." It's crazy how that happened. Timing,
Like
right? Lightning comes down, strikes the stage, lights go out, everyone starts screaming. There's chaos. Then the emergency lights come back on, and there is Chris Gaines with a katana in him, lying on his piano.
Nice job, Andrew.
Whoa, Chris Gaines,
Yeah, that was pretty
Dad.
good.
That was not bad. Garth Brooks was me, so
Where's it in?
That was all I had.
It is in his chest.
Everything else is garbage.
Tanner.
Okay, this
Okay,
is good. This
so-
is a good start.
All right, so we need to pull back here for a second. Thank you, gentlemen. So, wait, the katanas are in his chest. It smells funky. There's light rain. Lights went out, came back on. He was dead. And he's on his piano on stage.
And then heavy rain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we
I
need
gotta say thanks to Andrew for salvaging Lucas's turn.
so
Got
All I had to do is pick 2 things.
Can I just say how much fun it is to have Matt berate us and not even really be here?
so here's what we need to do, guys. Now that we've done that, we're about to come onto the scene, and explain how we got there and who we are. But
We haven't rolled to see who's a vampire yet.
I
Isn't that
know.
the first thing we're supposed to do?
no, that's what we're doing right now. So,
Oh, okay, sorry.
So here's what needs to happen. We need to roll. There's
Man, we suck.
6 suspicious quirks that each of us can get. If you do roll the vampire, which is number 6, you need to roll, or you need to pick 2 of the suspicious quirks to have from the
Guys,
above
this
list.
is
So the way I think that
awful.
we're going to do this so that that we know that there's
Whose
a vampire,
idea was
'cause we'd
this?
like there to be a vampire in there. Is if you we're gonna roll.
I remember I
and if
felt
one
this is how it
second
was
counts
going to
to,
go,
you count
but I didn't
down,
want to
and then
be
if
the
you're a
like
vampire, just
party
click.
pooper who was like,
Just snap
Click.
guys, this is
Well,
probably gonna
click.
suck. Now, to be fair, I think I was the worst one of the bunch. So I mean, that could maybe I just knew the inside scoop about what I would bring to the party. But yeah.
Makes you wonder, like we did this for a whole hour and went through the whole thing. Makes me wonder about what we're doing right now, if maybe we should have learned a lesson.
A bit like away from your mic
Yeah.
Barbara can't snap fingers.
because you might be able to tell like mic quality.
Yeah.
But do it up here.
All right. So, gentlemen,
Roll.
so you're gonna roll your thing.
So we snapped.
Let's introduce our characters at least and see how that goes.
So we snapped fingers to see make sure there was a vampire in the.
And I messed it up and made it obvious that
So
who
here's
I
what you
was.
guys back
I
away from your
seem to
mics,
recall.
Close your eyes, and if you roll the vampire, give us a click. Open it.
You
Everyone-
clap.
A vampire is loose. It also threw me that vampire clapped.
I gotta be honest, I know who it is. There was only one dummy that was clapping while we were thinking. No.
I saw you clapping. You had your hands over your head.
I feel like we need a re-roll.
Oh my word, Lucas!
Clap a bunch of times.
Lucas.
Yes.
Oh, you said we were clapping. I was ready to snap, and
We
you're like,
said
no, clap.
clicking.
Okay.
Clear.
We're so good at
We're
this.
redoing this and we're
doing it.
clicking.
Reroll.
Hey, Lucas, everybody show. Lucas, can you do this?
Yeah, you're the one who couldn't snap before.
I'm a pro. All right, reroll. Don't be looking.
Bro.
Right.
No one's better at snapping than me. It's huge.
Nice.
Are we doing it?
Topical.
I already rolled. I'm waiting.
Me too.
Everybody,
Okay.
everybody good?
Yep.
All right, we're okay. Hold on. Nobody do anything. 3, 2, 1, click. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Here we go.
I love
There's-
Lucas.
there's a
Did you
vampire
watch
in our
him?
midst.
So don't forget, whatever number you rolled is your quirk too.
Is your
if you're not a
quirk.
vampire.
So for those of you that are listening and would like to know what the quirks are, they'll come out as we're playing.
They
but,
don't. They don't
one is
want
you
to know
love
what the
smell of
quirks
garlic.
are.
They don't
Another is
want
you're a
to.
Transylvanian
I don't know how to
citizen.
skip ahead.
Another is you're allergic
Is
to
there any way to
vitamin
see what our
D,
viewer
so
count was
there's
at that
your
time?
back
Because
to
I wonder if
the
it's hovering
another
right
is
around
your
where ours
substance
is now
abuse,
and like
another
what
is
that
you're a
situation
vampire.
was like.
Can there be a negative
Ones that we have.
view count?
So if we're gonna go in, let's just continue in order. So the scene is set. Garth Brooks is dead. In comes our first Sherlock, Matt.
Very good. Well, along comes my Sherlock, who's been waiting for months for this opportunity to be able to go to this Garth Brooks, Chris Gaines concert. Although all along he thought it was actually 2 different people, not knowing that it was one. So at the surprise of
Not a
whenever
very smart
Garth throws
Sherlock.
off the cowboy hat and reveals the bleach blonde tips of Chris Gaines, he's infuriated. It's another.
Is that kid in real life, IRL, or is that?
I was wondering that. Is that a real life kid
Yeah.
or is it a recording? Oh, okay.
Guilty.
That's all
Another
good.
symbol of how he's been lied to so many different times. You see this Sherlock Holmes. He's a career Jim Carrey lookalike who's come upon really hard times,
As
and so
Wasn't this supposed to be someone who actually
being
exists in
disappointed
like
and
fiction?
started and left down, and this is just one more lie.
No, I think you
Of who
could.
Garth Brooks and
You
Chris
could
Gaines
kind of make it up.
really are.
Okay.
And so begins his journey into dealing with these really dark and heavy emotions.
I still have so. Okay, how'd you get here?
He bought tickets months ago, waiting for the concert, like I said, and he was there waiting to watch the show. He was watching the show.
So I just to make sure that I didn't miss something important. You made your own. You didn't choose from someone that's Sherlock
Oh.
from like a TV show or something.
You
that
should
I
cover this already.
No, made it up.
Made it up.
All right. Do a clue prompt.
Well, no, he doesn't do a clue prompt just yet. We
You're just introducing.
I don't even know what that means.
To the scene. And
Clue
I
Now,
kind
for the
Roll
record-
dice.
and
For the record, I think that this game would be a fun game. I think the extra stress of having to perform it, I think, was probably getting. I think if we were doing this at like a party or something, it would be a little bit
Not.
more comfortable.
I agree. Without cameras rolling and the pressure of thinking you've got to try to be funny,
Yeah.
Much like tonight, it.
And you all recognize me because you all know me. I'm Johnny Depp, the voice of Sherlock Gnomes from that movie, Sherlock Gnomes. That's right. I am, in fact, a gnome. You think you've been sitting here a long time? I've been off to the garden on the other side of the stage. Did I see everything?
Good
I
one.
think maybe I did.
Great.
Thanks, man.
And so I've just, I've been hanging out around there, and the lights went off, and when the
You
lights
know
came back
me.
on, everything happened. I saw you come in and
Oh,
you
no.
were standing there. So I'm not super tall. I'm a gnome. And
For the
kinda
record,
brittle, so
I was really worried you guys were going to
go
steal
over
my
to you,
Sherlock Holmes, and I'd
and
be
I'm
stuck
just hanging
having to
out
make
with
up
you.
one last minute,
Who's
even
you?
though mine was
You,
a
Matt,
random
Sherlock.
one.
Okay.
Well, do you have I guess this is going to get confusing if we just keep calling each other Sherlock. So,
Just call me Jim.
all right, Jim, I'm Sherlock Gnomes. Nice to meet you.
Oh, Jim.
There's something is afoot. Is there another, perhaps, that's coming to help us?
Yes, there is. You see a man walk up.
This is the
He's
Dark
wearing,
podcast.
he's wearing a Grateful Dead t-shirt. He's got an ill-fitting suit jacket on, and he walks with sneakers and a cane. You see Dr. Gregory House walk up, inspired by Sherlock Holmes. And he said, I only came here because I like to watch idiots in a big crowd. But I guess this will keep me busy until I'm ready to go.
And here you are again, Dr. House, watching Three Idiots.
Here I am again.
So,
This
Dr.
got
Gregory
just
House.
next
Dr.
level
Gregory
harder
House
for
not
me to
even a
watch.
cosplay of Sherlock Holmes? You've just given up on the Sherlock
No,
Holmes.
he said he's inspired.
He's inspired. Like everybody knows, his house is inspired by Sherlock Holmes.
Oh,
He's basically the Doctor Sherlock Holmes.
So Dr. Holmes.
Sure.
Okay, so we've got.
I
Kate
didn't know
Holmes,
that.
I didn't know
Sherlock
that.
Gnomes.
Doctor House.
Dr. House.
Doc-
Holmes.
Dr.
I have a
Holmes.
bad sense of
Holmes.
what is common knowledge
Man,
and what
I
is
feel
not.
like we could solve this, guys, if we just had but one more.
Well, it is I. I was gonna try and do a British accent, but my British
gotta
accent goes Southern real quick.
Y'all,
That's a good line.
That Andrew, good job.
And Brad has a great freeze frame for you right there.
Oh no. Andrew,
I'm
just
sure I've had some doozies.
just curious. In the last year, have you worked on your accent? Could you give us a little sample?
Crikey.
Oi, Governor. Tea and crumpets.
This is
Don't forget the grits.
Y'all come back now, you hear? I was driving along, not at the concert, on my way to a meeting with my father, who I'm attempting to reconcile with. His name is, oh man, I forget. But my brother's name is Minecraft. Minecraft.
Oh,
Is this the Sherlock
Anyway,
Holmes from the
when I saw
movies?
promotion
I
at the concert
missed that part.
And decided to pull in and see if I could use my
I haven't said it yet.
detective skills to help. Because it is me,
we're
Johnny
losing
Miller
people
from the
IRL.
CBS television show Elementary,
Ooh.
and I am
There, I
really,
just said it.
There you go. That's the one.
super tatted up. Sherlock
That was a
Holmes.
solid show. I stopped watching
Okay.
it though.
I also enjoyed it.
So
Every time I
we've
watched
got
it.
all four, and man, are we ever selling them? These are definitely real, well thought out, well developed characters that we've come on. It blows my mind that not one of us did Cumberbatch,
Who-
Robert Downey Jr.
We just get a
or
Melissa
any of the
sighting in
others
the
that-
background there.
Michael Caine was a Sherlock
did
Holmes,
ya?
and that's why I was practicing my Cockney accent earlier. But anyway, so now what we've got to do is it's time for some detective work, and we're going to go in order. So it says the players investigating the scene will include a time. by
Now the
rolling on
game
the clue drop
begins.
table and describing the results in turn. The primary
Now the
objective
game
is
begins
more important than
at
last.
the
Second
45-minute
objective is
mark.
to try to create situations to test everyone's suspicious quirks to determine who is secretly a vampire. Players continue investigating until someone is accused of being a vampire. My apologies. Carrie Holmes, come on in. Hi, Mandy. Nice to see that you're watching. We are not doing so good tonight.
Well,
Self-awareness. I love it.
Wow.
I've arrived on scene. I'm already at
Or
scene.
was that a prediction for the future?
As we're what's that?
Did you roll a d20?
Yes, it did.
Okay. What is it?
I'm there on the scene, and again, as kind of a down on my luck, very disappointed Jim Carrey. You're going to hear a number of very depressing catchphrases from my career. As I look upon,
He put
the
some thought into
stage,
it. I'll
which
give
has
him
been
that.
Just struck by lightning. All I can think.
Well, he hasn't
is
talked in like the last 20
smoking.
minutes because of us, so he's had
To
time.
which then I notice to my left an old newspaper that is there, and in that newspaper, which has been burnt around the edges, I see the headline on that newspaper, and it says this, and the date says August 20th, 2010. To which I then check my watch and realize that we have been teleported through time because of the lightning strike and Chris Gaines' bleached blonde tips into the future.
Good job,
well,
Matt.
Carrie Holmes, I'd like to draw your attention to
Carrie
this,
Holmes.
this by the foot of Sir Chris Gaines. It is in fact a half-eaten sandwich. Now, one might say, why would there be a half-eaten sandwich by the piano? I say that is more important, my friend, than this old newspaper. Probably the old chap. Oh, what am I rolling into here? Was carrying his sandwich in that newspaper, and I think if we were to search the throat by chance, we would find that the other half of this eaten sandwich. Now, let me tell you, in my hometown, back in Transylvania, you know,
Poetry in
where I was
motion,
from,
baby.
we don't have
Just comes right,
sandwiches.
like right
Didn't
from
think the end
right
of that
out,
sentence through when I started.
flows.
Right off the dome.
Yeah.
So natural.
Can you believe I made that up on
As
the
I
spot?
walk up the stage, cutting you off and freeing you from this mortal coil that you've become
Wait,
stuck in.
I was in the Groundlings, didn't you know?
Don't kill me. Dr. Holmes.
Dr. House
or Dr.
walks
House.
up the stage. He says, "Yeah, it's a pretty cute thing you found there with the paper and the sandwich. Ooh, a sandwich! I mean, we're never gonna find a sandwich at a Chris Gaines concert."
Okay.
And then
Burn,
he gets
sandwich
closer to the murder
burn.
weapon. He says, any of you dummies see the
Sandwich
chalk dust
burn.
on this sword? We need to find someone with chalk dust on them, and then we'll have the real killer."
Cole says he's so lost. We're gonna pause it for a second and just explain. Cole,
This will only take about 15, 20 minutes, Colt. So just pull up a chair and we're going to really walk you through this whole process.
last Halloween we did a Halloween special where we played a role-playing game in which we all played Sherlock, but one of us was supposed to be a vampire, and through a bunch of different clues you're supposed to figure out who the vampire is. It's gone down in the annals of history as our worst episode, and so for whatever reason we decided to revisit it tonight and just kind of do a commentary to the video, and we'll see how long that lasts. It's in
And as an adult, it's one of the scariest things I could think of doing this week. So it's really in the Halloween spirit.
yeah. Anyway, I pitched doing a virtual escape room.
Now, I gotta be honest, I forget in the scene.
Whoa,
are there
whoa,
other
whoa,
people at
whoa.
this
And then
concert?
you were like, I don't got no time for this.
That's true.
We're at a concert, Brad.
Well, I mean, it's
They've
Chris,
all fled.
it's Chris
They've
Gaines.
fled.
Does he still pull a crowd?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Great. How are we going to deal with that, gentlemen?
No, they fled. They're gone. They ran off in fear.
Well, no, somebody can play that out in their scene.
All right.
So hold on. Lucas,
many interruptions.
what was your clue?
Chalk dust.
Chalk
Chalk
dust.
dust.
Chalk dust. Go ahead, Andrew. I've got some thoughts, but go ahead.
All right. Well, it's me, Johnny Lee Miller. I think that's his name. I forget already. Johnny. It's Johnny. And
So
I'm,
committed.
Go up on the stage and, well, I noticed clutched in Chris Gaines' hand a golden figurine, which is obviously from the Oscar he won in 2007.
The year is 1996.
No, we're in 2010 now.
Thanks,
Someone's been on
Jerome.
Oh, my
IMDb.
word.
And it says on it for best supporting actor in a movie.
Okay.
To which, as I'm already on the stage, I look to my left and I see
I
that
feel
old
like
Roach
didn't
house
didn't
coming my
we
way.
wasn't
To which I
golden
say,
figurine
to
like
which I say,
kept coming
Yeah, I
up?
was
Here
gonna
she
say
comes,
this is the
direct
point where we got like
today.
the same 3 things out of a possible 24, like all over and over and over, and we go, it's another sandwich, and
Yeah, that's the rest of
It
the
just-
show.
overtaxed our already broken improv abilities with the same thing over and over. No, this sandwich is the most important.
Yeah.
a liar. To which
Let's give it a few more
which
minutes.
I also take
A
note.
game and a game.
To which I also take note that in the far back corner of the stage, there's a sandwich cart.
Oh
Which
no.
we assume was for the roadies, but it's not the sandwich that I
Sandwich
noticed.
2, if anyone's
but
keeping
instead it's a
count at
small
home.
pile
Sandwich
of
count.
Yeah,
chalk
sandwich count. Nice.
lying by the base
More chalk.
of more chalk of this sandwich
We
cart.
have a theme.
Chalk for days. I have no idea what to do with this.
Please tell me you find even more chalk.
No. Here, I have a question. This is just for us.
Yes.
The clue I got is half.
I think this whole thing's just for us anyway, but go ahead.
the clue is half of a grocery list. How do you know it's only half?
It's ripped in half.
Tore, ripped asunder.
Makes sense. So, gentlemen,
Okay, so in my mind, I thought it was like a whole receipt,
that was listing groceries, how would you know that that was only half the grocery order?
Oh, I see.
What time of day is it?
Yes.
Anybody by chance? Do you
Nighttime.
know the time?
It's nighttime.
I see. Well, come
Remember, it's a full moon. I said that.
come over here,
Full moon.
would you, chaps, under this very bright light, and let us have a look
Chaps.
at what I found. Half of a grocery list.
I would rather stay back here. I feel more comfortable away from the
I don't necessarily trust you under that light. What are you trying to do to us under that light?
And I will
Perhaps
be glad to
take a
join
drop
you.
on us?
I will be glad to join you under that light after I apply my SPF 80 sunscreen.
Guys, did you all roll the same thing? So what I'm trying to do is figure out who a vampire might be by bringing them into the light, because vampires would be adverse to
None of
light.
us would go.
And not one of them would go, which made it look like they were all vampires. No, okay, no light.
Because this game, everybody has one vampire trait, and then the vampire has two, right?
That's right.
Hey, Lucas,
good.
is that
That's-
a timer
Oh
yet?
yeah.
As I
I don't
look at
remember
this grocery
anything.
list that's here, guys, I want you to take note that it's important.
No, this was like a fever
by chance,
dream.
Is the other half of the grocery list with the murderer? Was this
Perhaps.
perhaps the murder may have been related
Perhaps.
to the sandwich,
Perhaps.
and the list of groceries needed to construct said sandwich? Could this murder have
How
been
often do we say
about the
that?
sandwich?
Perhaps another
Ah,
sandwich.
you missed one vital clue.
Of course I did. Why don't you enlighten me?
Well, over near the sandwich cart and the sandwich, I have found this jar of pickled herring. It smells of garlic and cloves. Have a smell. Do you smell any other clues?
That must be the
The odor most foul.
the odor from the unusual odor.
That could be.
Good job,
you
Andrew.
might-
Bringing it back.
Try.
Ooh. Ace Ventura.
Well, I'm going to take a look at this sandwich cart, and well, that's very interesting.
Just in case it flew over our heads.
Another golden figurine. I think we
Oh,
have
man.
Here we go.
here. Chalk dust and a golden figurine everywhere.
Quite.
Yes.
Which is what he believes he's seen, but in fact, it is not the truth. As I come closer to assist him in investigating the evidence, it's not a golden figurine, but instead it is a ripe banana,
Oh.
which we find next
Isn't
to
the
Job,
one rule of
Barbara.
improv?
which
Yes,
leads us to
and
believe that there are two items missing from this lunch.
Barber's
We have the
doing
sandwich,
like he's
we have the
trying
banana.
real hard.
We're
Yeah.
missing the sweet and the salty,
Yeah.
which might lead us to
He
the
was
individual.
tired carrying
who
our
was
weight
by that
around.
cart
That's for
that
sure.
Had the dust, which then had that dust on that individual, Chris Gaines.
Hey guys, I found it. There's a chipped heavy vase over here, right on the other side of Chris Gaines. I'm just
Oh
calling it.
yes.
I'm pretty
So
sure.
we
he
just start
died by-
ripping through all
died
of
by
our
vase.
things. Oh,
Guys,
this-
come have a
Yeah,
look
yeah,
over
yeah.
here.
No, I believe the
Uh,
vase comes up a
come
lot
have a
too.
look. It's just over here in this dark corner.
Yeah, we only got like
Anybody
four
want to come over
things.
here?
In the dark corner? Sure.
I can go
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
problem.
guys.
I
look
don't
Yeah,
touch
you all
the
go
ceiling.
to the dark corner.
Ceiling. What are those,
Dark
what are those animals in
corner.
that fly out at night? And,
Oh, bad.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Who's afraid of the big black bat?
Wow, nice.
that's quite
Batman.
Bats are cool. I like
Batman
that.
the Riddler.
You gotta
I
give
like
it.
that. Batman.
You've got to give it to Matt. Like the guy is
Yeah.
able to pull so much so quickly. Like to pull a Riddler.
I would have forgotten about the Riddler thing for sure.
Like a Jim Carrey Riddler quote. and
Yeah.
Just like that.
Is there,
No, I feel like he had a lot of stuff prepared.
Where are they? Can I see
Oh,
them?
yeah.
yeah, no, just over here by this chip vase. There's
That was
some
probably his
bats.
day at work that day,
I'm
was just
fine over
Googling
here,
Jim
thank you.
Carrey quotes.
In fact, I just found another
IMDb.
clue. If you'll look over here beside the chipped vase, I see something much heavier that could be used to drive a katana into a man, and that is a bust of Queen, not the Queen, but Queen the band, because
The
obviously
band
we're at
Queen.
a concert. So
Classy.
I believe
Nice job,
this was
Lucas.
somehow used in the
Topical.
attack. I believe. If you just look, I'm just going to crane my neck and look at it right now, and exposing my neck and looking at it, and what do you all think of that?
I just realized what you were doing. I was just I forgot about that. Oh yes, that
'Cause
is
one of them has a
weird
neck
way
fetish.
To turn your
Yeah.
head. Sure. Are you okay? Is there something wrong with? Did you pull a muscle?
Well, it just gets a little kinky sometimes if I'm doing it the wrong way here. Sorry, my mistake.
No.
But look
Guys,
at
come
the-
quick, come quick, come quick. I found another heavy chipped vase.
My goodness.
Oh.
Another.
I feel like we're one.
The
chip
game
away
was
from
against
juggling
us.
As I go over, after being beckoned by this modern Sherlock Holmes, which we don't even know the real name of, Mr. Miller, we'll call him. I see this vase, and in the crack in the top of this vase, I see a single hair that is there, stuck in the top of that. And as I continue along, as I'm eating the other half of that sandwich we found earlier, I also find a hair in the tuna. And as I pull it out, I find that the colors match, bringing me back to whoever the individual is that started to eat that sandwich. I got the chalk on their fingers and went over towards Chris Gaines. We found it on the
Where did the
pan.
chalk come from? Where's the chalk
Well,
originated?
Well, let me tell you where I think it comes from.
Is there a chalkboard?
As I'm low to the ground, and what I notice is that there is.
What about your gnome?
I'm a gnome.
That
And
I forgot.
Obligatory reference to character.
Even now.
there is a broken broadsword down here, guys.
Oh,
come have a look
no.
at this. What I suspect has happened.
Oh, another
fellas, I
Melissa.
think this is
Melissa.
gonna crack
Sighting.
the
That's
case.
two.
I think it ties everything together. I think
What did Melissa think walking back and forth listening to just your part of the
I can-
conversation?
Only imagine what Melissa thought when I'm like, look at my neck, guys.
Look at my alabaster white neck.
that it was all part of the show. That there was supposed to be a dueling match, and the chalk was for the hands for dueling. I've seen it on Star Trek with Captain Picard. And what I think has happened here is murder most foul under the guise of a fake part of the show. Then he got stabbed for that sandwich the list for the to make that precious sandwich. Someone just find a clue.
And then,
Sandwich listed in the code.
but you have missed one vital clue. And I looked at the two hairs that matched together, and I said, I looked at them, I smelled them, and I say, this is no human hair.
Why'd you smell
Wait.
them?
And I reach inside the piano, and I pull out a snub-nosed Shih Tzu. These are dog hairs.
Why is
Pretty
that
good,
important?
Lucas.
Not a bad connection. I was gonna say, not a bad connection.
Go on.
It's
I
important
recognize-
because this dog witnessed the entire thing, and if we can figure out a way to put the murderer in front of him, he will point out the murderer to us.
And I recognize also that Shih Tzu, snub-nosed Shih Tzu, but there's not just a single snub-nosed Shih Tzu.
Another one.
There are actually two snub-nosed Shih Tzus, and I recognize them because previous to coming to the concert, I got robbed by a sweet old lady on a motorized cart. Didn't even see it coming. And those dogs, Dumb and Dumber, and those dogs were with that woman. And what I know is that those dogs were special
Dumb and
care
Dumber.
animals for that woman, which means that they are never out of her sight, which means that there's an old woman in this Chris Gaines crowd which has witnessed the murder.
Fellas,
Yep.
I found
Okay.
another old newspaper. I'm pretty sure it was in the piano for. We have 12 minutes and 50 seconds left.
That's
Or less,
amazing.
whatever you want.
Oh, doctor.
This page is
Or less.
filled.
This is when my stomach sank.
Oh, I feel like it was a typical Chris Gaines
Guys,
concert.
look at this old
Classic
newspaper.
Chris
Look at this old newspaper. I think it was used to wrap up some garlic. Guys,
Another
can
old
someone take a
newspaper.
sniff? Does this smell like garlic to any of you?
Oh yeah, that smells good.
Yeah, so
Delicious.
regards to me. Yeah, I'd say so.
Delicious.
Great.
Put it on a
Got
sandwich.
him down.
Yes. Yeah, a garlic
But
sandwich.
wait,
Oh,
wait! I found one other thing over here. It's another chipped vase, and I think that makes a set. So whoever brought a set of chipped vases, or perhaps the vases were never chipped to begin with. Actually, if you look at the chips, they line up perfectly with the katana. Someone hit these vases with the katana, making them chipped. We must find, if we can find little specks of chalk dust and Shih Tzu hair and parts of a vase on a person, they are
You're not
definitely
gonna believe this. You're not
Your logic was sound, Lucas.
gonna believe this.
No.
There's another
Great job.
chipped vase over here.
I was filling
And I
time.
think there's no chip anywhere.
I had 12 minutes and 50 seconds to go.
The dust.
Lucas just picks
from
up
the
a
vase.
book and starts reading at this point
Stomped
out
on. I
loud.
think the vase was some kind used like a barrier. Somebody was hiding behind all these vases or vases, if you would.
If you're nasty.
If you're nasty.
The UK, like me, clearly we say vase over there. across the pond. And the vase did it. That's
the vase did it. It gained
I've lost track of the rest of the Sherlocks as they're doing their investigation, and I'm naturally attracted back to the sandwich cart because of the sandwiches and my
Another
love.
sandwich.
Are we gonna touch that? I'm
Love
no.
of the sandwich cart.
I'm naturally drawn to the sandwich cart.
My love of garlic and all
yes.
all things garlicky.
Mm.
To which, as I get there, I notice on a table in the back a script from a movie. I noticed that back there, and as I pick up that script, I first noticed it's not a very good script. It's actually a terrible script. But as I leaf through this script, what I find is that it's a biography written by Garth Brooks, and in it, it outlines his life, and it names 3 of his enemies in this script.
Moriarty.
everybody knows that Moriarty is.
Moriarty. Murder most foul Moriarty. Oh, right. Oh. Well, I too, over here in this corner, have found yet another terrible script, my friend. It's amazing we'd find them back to back, isn't it? Eh, what?
Almost unbelievable.
And
Nothing
yet-
we
and
could
yet
do
here we are.
here.
We have
No,
to
my
defend
goodness,
Yeah,
this
we
thing.
were-
We could have been
We
on,
were stacked against us.
we could have been on point. It wouldn't have mattered.
Oh, that's 100%. Our game could have been flawless, but the rolls were against us.
The rolls were against it. Let's blame it on the
I
rolls.
find here
Yes.
another terrible script, but this isn't.
Well,
for a movie.
I
This
said
is-
we
this
could
is
have
for
been
the
on
book
point. We
adaptation.
weren't on point.
Everything's the same as what you said.
I'm saying even if we were at our funniest, we
Well,
still
and
would
what
have
is
been
this? You
terrible.
fools did not look
Yes,
closely enough
I
in the
think
piano,
it's-
and
I do
now that
think
think of
it's
it, I
true.
looked in the piano the first.
Andrew, I've got much love for you, but you're distorting just a little bit into your mic.
Okay,
Oh,
so I should get closer.
no.
How am I sounding right now?
First time, I found another snub-nosed Shih Tzu. And look, there is a quiet ones. These guys.
You'd
And I
think our
found
rolling
another-
list had like
another
4
one.
things on
another
it.
name
Seriously.
on the tag. Let's see. He's from.
Yeah, it was like 25, right?
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Look at the
I'm from
same
Pennsylvania.
5
No,
things.
I happen to be from Pennsylvania.
I'm from
myself.
there.
Wow.
Who's your mother?
Who's your mother?
Is it Donna?
Who's your?
Donna was her name.
Oh, Donna, I know her.
You'll never believe this. You'll never believe this. I was getting a little hungry, so I decided to go over to the food cart. Everybody's been talking about the food cart. I checked it out, and I looked underneath, and there was a half-eaten sandwich underneath. Do you think
Another one.
Do you think that the two halves go
Fact.
together?
So,
Put them together. Smush them.
I ate the other half already,
Oh,
to which we will never know because the evidence is gone.
what kind was it?
Egg salad.
You.
To which I am saying that I've seen enough vases and Shih Tzus that I would like to make an accusation.
darn it, I was hoping to make it. I think I know.
I am making that accusation.
All
And
right,
I
so
think
it's
so-
wrong.
Should we call this episode 123 Vases and Shih Tzus?
Oh,
Really
I thought
just
you were saying, should we call this episode? And I was about to say yes, but yeah.
Wait.
Nice.
Let me just so that people know what's happening. Well, so that we know. No one's watching this. When a player thinks they can prove who the vampire is, they accuse them and present their evidence. If that player accuse. If that player is not a vampire, they explain why they have their suspicious quirk, and then they in turn must accuse someone of being the vampire, and so on and so on. When a vampire is revealed, or when the last non-vampire is accused, that player explains how they have solved the actual crime. Other players chime in with details, and no one mentions vampirism again at all. Finally, the players describe.
I find that to be a weird rule. That one.
So if you get it wrong, no one's allowed to say the word like talk about vampires at all.
No, once you've got it and the vampire is explaining how they did it, no one's ever allowed to mention vampire again. I didn't get that part, but whatever, it's the rules.
How therefore Sherlock Holmes worked together
And we
to capture
followed
the
them.
criminal.
Of the made-up game.
Any player not accused of being a vampire is assumed to have simply not been discovered this time, and then the next time you roll 2 suspicious quirks.
Oh, maybe you're right,
All
Lucas. Maybe
well,
if they weren't
you,
found out.
sir, are going to make an accusation.
I've had this solved for about 20 minutes.
I saw him click. I'm just kidding.
I've had this solved for about 20 minutes. But I was so
It's
entertained
Lucas.
by the sandwich cart that I thought I might as well get my money's worth. But I am accusing you, Sherlock House, of being the Dracula.
You think I'm a Dracula?
Dracula.
Yes.
I am in fact a Dracula.
Oh.
Is that what
Really?
you thought it was?
I
It wasn't, I
No,
thought,
no.
though.
Here, let's finish the game.
Cards on the table. I didn't remember. I'm just as surprised as.
I thought I snapped.
I thought Andrew snapped. Unless there's 2 Draculas.
And then I can't do that. We're not allowed
All
to.
right.
Now that we've done
You're not
that,
allowed.
if the players then they explain. So you now have to. What?
Solve the crime?
The math doesn't work. You need to explain how how they solve the actual
I'm
crime.
so excited to hear this.
We get to
Go
chime
on,
in though.
Lucas.
We get to chime in, but no one can talk about vampirism again.
So I have to solve this crime.
You have to solve this crime.
In 3 minutes.
Okay, very good. Well, obviously I knew it from the beginning, but I too was looking for some sandwiches and to spend some quality time with those Shih Tzus.
You did
It's
it.
pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious, really. Chris Gaines was murdered by Garth Brooks. And this happened, I know, very surprising. These were all bits of misdirection because he knew to pull this off, it was going to be the world's greatest crime. And we all know that Garth Brooks is a criminal mastermind.
A
You
body
see,
double.
yes, a body double. He had everything he needed. He had the gold dust to pay off people. He had the golden figurines, to dress up his stage. The vases, they were just set decorations for, Chris Gaines is known for his frivolity. The chalk was because he knew his hands would be sweaty with the katanas and he had to make sure he had a good grip.
Talk to me about what was going on in your mind right now, because you've indicated multiple times throughout the podcast on there and the one in IRL right now that you weren't really into this. So as the person that had to then explain the whole stinking thing, what was that like?
Well, I think for me, it wasn't like I was gonna do my very best. I had the sinking feeling it wasn't gonna land, which maybe not. But I was still excited to try to play the game. I think that's the thing. I enjoyed playing the game. It kind of sucked that our game kind of shot itself in the foot with all the double rolls. But I mean, if we'd been just playing this at like someone's house, I would have been fine with it. I just wasn't convinced of the entertainment value of it for people
You check the
outside
body.
the experience.
Chop
Sorry.
the hands. The right
So I was
banana
having
in
fun
case
trying
no
to
potassium,
bring it together.
obviously.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Nobody
the-
wants the what do you call it?
The cramps.
Cramps. Nobody wants the cramps with katanas.
The cramps, the katana cramps. The statue of Queen threw me off for a minute, but then I remembered it was what's his name's favorite band, and he needed to have them watching over to make sure he
what's
could
his
pull off
name?
the crime. Yes,
What's his name?
Chris Gaines. Yes,
Just to be clear.
and yes, and then the hair from the dogs. He had to have his famous triplet of Shih Tzus there as well. And what happened was the moment Chris Gaines was born, Garth Brooks knew it had to end there, no matter the cost. Because
I don't think that Garth Brooks or Chris Gaines can play piano. I think it's the Shih Tzus in there.
Running across.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know
That was
what?
a good line.
Maybe
Nice
that is
job,
true.
Andrew.
Does anyone else want to chime in with possible clues for me?
No, I think
Anyone else want to give me some?
you've solved it. But now we need to. So who was the murderer again? Garth Brooks. So we need.
Garth Brooks killed Chris Gaines.
With what, Lucas?
The katana, obviously. He
Stupid
waited for
katana.
a flash of lightning when everyone was momentarily blinded, and he
Wait.
to himself.
Wow.
Okay.
Uh,
I think
ended
early
Chris
on,
Gaines.
I decided
We-
that
we-
if it was
last-
me
last thing is
deciding,
this.
it was going to
We need to
be
describe how we're gonna
one killing the alter
capture
ego
the
because
criminal.
that would
Now
have
we
been
know it's
fun.
Garth Brooks.
I didn't make that up on the
Guys,
spot.
I say we just
Sandwich cart.
we camp out at to buy tickets for a concert.
Yep.
And we'll be polite. We'll get our tent, wait in line,
Get our
Undercover.
tent.
buy our tickets, and then we'll go to the concert.
Still
front
funny
row and
today, Andrew.
Nab them.
That's what you think. But he's been expecting us. Do you remember how I had mentioned that there was a dear old lady who had those Shih Tzus with her as her special care
Matt
dogs?
wouldn't let the game
That was
end.
actually Chris Gaines disguised as Garth Brooks, disguised as an old lady with the Shih Tzu dogs,
Like,
who cannot be caught. There is no catching this
He's a
criminal.
master of disguise.
There's
well,
no catching this criminal.
well, fellas, I'm going back over to my garden, and I'm just gonna go back to being frozen gnome. You know,
Oh yeah,
Toy-
you
Toy Story
Sherlock
like.
Gnomes. I forgot about
so
that.
This is.
You played
Didn't really
that so
come into
well.
the.
That
didn't- Yeah, it didn't really make its way into the narrative, did
I
it?
also
I think none of ours really did after, except for Matt. And none of ours really did after the intro.
Oh my goodness. Sorry. Apparently
That was set to 11.
apparently the episode's supposed to be over. I had started recording our audio ahead of all of this, and I guess I didn't mute the outro music. Sorry about that, everybody. No,
That's all right.
it's just the three of us. No one's here.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
feel like my big break is coming as a Jim Carrey stunt double over in Poland, actually, I believe is where I'll probably strike my riches. And to each of you, I say good morning. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Nice.
Truman
I will,
Show.
I will be getting on my sweet motorbike with the cool
Nice.
little holster thing for the cane, and I'm going to write a medical journal article about multiple Chris Gaines disorder, and I will become even more famous than I am right now. But I won't care about how famous I am.
A
Classic.
helicopter comes in. It's MI6. They need my help in London. And I need to
Again?
go solve some crimes and stuff. So bye.
we actually. So well. So that was.
The end. Cut the thing. Cut it.
Oh,
That was 4 Sherlocks and a vampire, who was also one of the aforementioned Sherlock Holmeses. We've got. We have a question coming in on chat.
Oh heavens, no, we don't.
I want to know. I want to know how you were the vampire, but I obviously snapped.
Yeah, that also confuses me because both of us watching this show after the fact thought you were the vampire.
And I never said anything.
Yeah, we just rolled with it. You just wanted it to be over.
I was like, thank
Yeah,
goodness
sure,
I don't
go
have
for
to.
it.
I don't have to come up with the.
Oh my goodness. Oh guys,
Oh, my.
well, we did it. How do you tell me how you feel? Let's review the review.
It
Well-
wasn't. It wasn't great.
Wasn't our best effort, but you know what? On the downside, the upside to this is I had a great story to tell, but I'm going to save it for next week, so we know we're going to have at least one good story for next week, and it is seagull related.
Oh my goodness. I'm very excited for that. Well, guys, should we just get out of this episode a few minutes early, or is there anything else you want to talk about? Hey, how y'all feeling? How y'all doing?
I think we leave it as it lies.
Duck and cover.
Duck and cover. I wonder what our Christmas special could be.
Rewatching the old Christmas specials and
Yeah. Yeah, probably not. All right. Well, folks, that's going to do it for us. I don't have my notes up, guys, because this was such a different episode. Is anybody actually ready to outro?
You can follow our podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and of course, all the other great social medias like YouTube. Give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, and we'll even read it on the air.
Not only that, but you can send your questions to us at oxfordholyclub.com. Send us your tiebreakers or anything like that. You can also go to our website and browse our merch.
And you know what, folks? As I'm sure you're aware, we do not pay to advertise. No one's going to pay for what we just gave. So we'll look forward to seeing you next week. And until next time, keep spiritually fit and have fun.
And be a Sherlock Holmes.